Hi, this is Connie Moser. Welcome to Nights at the Round Table. My guest tonight is Nancy Berlin from Virginia Co-op. How you doing, Nancy?
Hey, nice to see you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. So you comfortable? You relaxed? Can I get you
yeah.
anything?
No, I'm
Pizza? Okay, why don't you just start off and tell me just a little bit about yourself, how you got to be where you are now professionally?
good. Okay. Well, I have a degree, but it's not in horticulture. I'm doing a lot of on-the-job learning. Started this job in 2007 as natural resource specialist, and then I'm a volunteer coordinator for the Master Gardener program. And I work for Cooperative Extension, which is housed in Sudley North at on Ashton Avenue in Manassas.
And you've been there how long?
Since 2007. It's a great fit. It's a good fit for me. It's my career change midlife.
I know you as a volunteer coordinator for almost anything to do with outdoors. I think we've worked some planting things. I've seen a lot, and I really want to take that Master Gardener class desperately.
I gotcha.
All except for that, how many hours?
There's 72 hours in the classroom and then 50-hour internship period after.
That's a big
You
commitment.
can do it, Connie.
I'm afraid of that. I might just say that. So you primarily work in environment and natural resources. And what programs do you offer to the people in the county and Manassas?
Well, our
Manassas City?
extension office is the biggest in the state of Virginia, and we offer the environment and natural resources, but we also have parenting programs. We have financial assessments and financial counseling for people who are in danger of foreclosure. We have a nutrition program with diabetes education programs and some obesity prevention programs for the schools. And we have 4-H in the same office. So environment and natural resources is the department that I'm in, but we all kind of work as a cohesive group. The nutrition agent is helping me with recipes for the farmers market. We're trying to get some canning for preserving the harvest. So, you know, we're a great team together, but the environment natural resources composed of horticulture agent Paige Thacker and Best Lawn's environmental educator for our lawn program, and a half-time administrative assistant and me.
So five?
Really,
I can't count.
3.5.
Can't count. So tell me a little bit about Best Lawns.
Okay. Best Lawns is offered, the real secret is it's offered to homeowners to have a green lawn at the lowest cost possible, but our main goal is protecting water quality. So what we'd like, if people want to have turf and feel they really need turf in their yard, and there's enough sunlight to grow it, we'd like them to have healthy turf, because that prevents erosion, prevents sedimentation in streams in the Chesapeake Bay, prevents runoff, and if a thick, healthy turf is also more resistant to pests and diseases. So there's a whole lot less pesticide and fertilizer runoff if you do things the right way. And we're there to teach you research-based information for taking care of your lawn. So basically what's involved is the Master Gardener would go to your home for a site visit to assess your lawn, the amount of weeds, the type of weeds, and they'd measure the lawn area and do a soil sample and then give you a prescription for your lawn management. We don't do the work for you, but we give you that prescription based on research and based on exactly what you need at the right time of year. So it saves you time and money in the long run, and it also protects water quality.
So are you using more natural ingredients, or like I've done a 4-step lawn care program, and I know that that's a high chemical content. So your resources are more natural.
Our goal is to make thick, healthy turf. And thick, healthy turf shades out weeds. It also is resistant to pests and diseases. And so that's our main goal. And with that goal, we use a lot less pesticides and fertilizers. The fertilizer that's actually applied is applied at the best time is in the fall. And you don't need multiple applications during the year. And so that saves money over a lawn service. There is a $25 fee for the program, but that just covers the soil test and our paperwork, and we provide a nice manual.
How do you do that, a soil test? What do you...
The Master Gardener would take the soil sample if you're a Best Lawns client, and we take a soil probe and just get in the root zone area and take about 15, 18 samples in the lawn area and do an aggregate sample and send it to Virginia Tech. And
You do that for anyone that asks you to? Or
for the best lawns, the fee is $25 to do that, and the measurement and the manual. So we're doing it at cost, basically. If you want to do a soil test yourself, we have these soil kits in our office or the main libraries, and you can do that for $10 and send it in yourself.
Sounds like a pretty good deal.
It's a great deal because Virginia Tech Soil Lab, I've toured it, and they send that soil through its paces, and there's no way a homeowner can do that kind of testing, that sophisticated kind of testing that Tech can do.
So would you say, though, that grass is, not everybody should be growing grass?
Correct.
Like, grass is like any other plant, right plant, right place.
Correct. Yeah, and we are in a transition zone between cool season and warm season turf, so it's always going to look bad some of the year. It's always going to go dormant. It's part of the year, and that's something you got to accept. If you want, Augusta type turf, like from a golf course standard, then that's going to take a tremendous amount of input, and in my mind, it's not worth it. A lot of people come to us with shady areas, and they want to grow turf, and they've tried just about every mixture you can imagine, and they still can't get it to grow because you need about 8 hours of sunshine to get turf to grow. So we offer them ground cover alternatives, other possibilities that will still prevent the erosion from occurring and the sedimentation in the streams, and keep the ground covered, but with an alternative.
So no goats, though, no sheep, no.
Well, I think I said the last time I was interviewed, I have clover in my front yard, and that does not need any fertilization nor mowing. And it's a good pollen source for insects and particularly bees. And I don't have little kids running around, so that's what I chose. As I get older, it's harder to mow.
Sure, absolutely.
So there are alternatives.
Well, let's see. How about the teaching garden? I've never been there. I know. Don't beat me. I'm going.
Okay.
It's on my bucket list.
Yeah. Well, I hope it's before the bucket.
Yeah.
We're going to get you there this year.
Only in Bristow, right? I mean,
it's only in Bristow.
Yeah.
It's at Linton Hall School, which is also the Benedictine monastery. And it was established in 2000 when the sisters there gave us a plot of land, and we had a master gardener design a fairly formal garden. There's about 28 garden beds, and it serves as our outdoor classroom where we can show mature size of plants, how to prune, hands-on classes, how to grow organic vegetables, how to compost. We teach all sorts of classes. So we run classes there April through October, once a month. Then they're called Saturday in the Garden. And everybody can find out how to get that schedule, which I'm working on now for April through October, and by signing up for e-notifications on the county website. So you just go to Prince William County and put in garden, and you can sign up for e-notifications.
I have to admit, I probably have not been in a big hurry to get out there because you are very active. I follow you on Twitter, I see you on Facebook, and I get lots of information from I'm constantly getting flyers and pictures, and so I really don't feel like I'm missing too much.
Oh, you've got to see it in person. It is a lovely place. It was part of the Benedictine's orders. They wanted a place of peace in the community. And our vision for having a community garden to teach in fit into that. And they have many other things on their grounds that are very peaceful. And it's a lovely place to be. And master gardeners manage and maintain all the garden beds there, and put probably 3,000 hours worth of work in just last year.
How many master gardeners have completed your program?
We have 189 in the program right now, and all of them are active status. We have about 43 in the new class, and they're serving as interns in that 50-hour internship. So they just completed their 72 hours in the classroom, and now they're working on their internship with veterans, kind of overseeing them and helping them learn more.
Wow. And there's a difference between a naturalist program and a master gardener program, but you teach them both?
No, I don't teach the master naturalist. That is a Virginia Cooperative Extension program too, and there is one in existence in Prince William County out of Merrimack Farm.
Oh, uh-huh.
But the Master Gardener program is housed in our office.
Okay. Let's talk about stormwater. That's one of my favorite. I know a whole ton of rules changed with the Chesapeake Bay regulations this year, and it makes a lot of impact. I'm going to tell you a quick story. We were out picking up litter, actually, and this gentleman stopped me and said, "What are you doing out there?" And I said, "Well, we're picking this up so it doesn't wash down in the stormwater." And he said, "What's that mean?" I said, "Well, we don't, especially in older communities, we don't have stormwater ponds. It all goes to our creeks, which eventually goes to the Occoquan Reservoir that we drink." And so I'm telling him about this, and he said, "Oh, that's really interesting." He said, "But I don't do much fertilizing," or he said, I don't use chemicals on my lawn." I said, "Oh, you don't? Well, that's wonderful because it looks so good." And he said, "Yeah, I just use halts."
Yeah.
So obviously people need education in stormwater and runoff. You want to talk about that a little bit, or
Sure.
That's a favorite?
Let me just back up to him not using fertilizer. Grass is a high maintenance crop. It needs fertilizer. It's one of the few things that we say, yes, it does need fertilizer probably every year. And so managing your turf responsibly means making it thick and healthy. And it may need fertilizer to do that because it's like I said, it is high maintenance. But stormwater in general, yeah, the laws have changed. We're still regrouping on a lot of things, but we have a stormwater education program, and that involves site visits to businesses, homeowners associations, churches, synagogues. We've gone to a lot of different places: Potomac Festival, Potomac Mills, Centara. We've done some private homeowners. We've done a lot of homeowners associations, and gone there and helped them. Did a walk around with the property manager and any contractor that they have doing the landscaping. And our goal is to help properties keep the stormwater on their property more, keep it cleaner on their property, and help them to manage the impervious surfaces, the hard surfaces like cement, better, so that the stormwater that actually has to leave is in better shape to leave. So that involves sometimes making sure that the plants are healthy, making sure there's good ground cover, making sure the turf is healthy, making sure the trees are not dead or dying or mulched improperly. So we'll do a walk around and try. Plants absorb so much stormwater that planting more plants sometimes, as long as they're not too many, is a good option. But planting the right plant at the right place is the best option. So our site visits, I think, have proved very valuable. We went with a church just right down the road here, and they had just been released from bond. And so many of their plants were planted improperly. They were diseased. They were the wrong plant in the wrong place. So they were able to go back to the landscaper and get some refunds and get them to redo things in the proper way. And now they're moving ahead, and they want to put a meadow in to absorb stormwater better. Like and they had a lot of forested area, and a forest really, trees in a forest are the best stormwater feature you can have on your property, because they slow the water, they absorb a lot of the water, and the water is used by the trees. So we're here to help homeowners associations and businesses, and sometimes those businesses will qualify for a rebate on their stormwater fees if they go through our program. It has to be approved first, so I can't make any promises, but we have a goal of about 35 properties to visit this year. And our master gardeners help with that. Staff always go, though. So you have that, it's free.
So you try to keep the water from running off the property because it carries sediment and it carries chemicals and it carries gas and oil, and I don't think people realize how much stuff washes away. I have a friend that planted a rain garden. That's kind of an interesting concept. Could you explain that to me just a little?
And that's one of the new stormwater practices that's carrying more weight. A rain garden is a depression, really, that collects rainwater in the middle where the lowest point is, and the more rainwater that collects, you put plants that tolerate wet feet better, and you put some other ones, drought-tolerant ones, maybe on the outskirts. But we find native plants do really well in a rain garden, and in general, they're pretty drought-tolerant. But it's the opposite of like a kind of a raised bed. It's a depression kind of garden that just kind of collects and then runs off within about 48 hours. So it's never wet all the time. It's not like a pond.
So it has to have good drainage.
Yes, it does. And sometimes engineers are needed for it, but I have a rain garden on my property that's functioning pretty well, and I didn't have any engineer or no under drain.
Yeah, but I've seen you dig. Let's talk just a little bit about the school garden program, because that's something really I'm excited about, and I see that coming more and more often. There are a lot of partners that want to help. The federal program, there's a federal program, there's state program, there's local interest, but I'm not sure who is at what level of involvement. So what is it that you do? Because we've had so many requests for school garden assistance, and we'd love to see every school have a garden. But we are only a very small staff, and our expertise is still evolving. I had 6 site visits for schools in December. Wow. And what I like about that is the teachers are thinking ahead. They're not calling me in April for a garden that year. So because of that, I went to Joy Green with the Eagle Center, and she's the environmental educator there, and asked her if we could just have us in service for teachers. And so we're partnering with Prince William County Public Schools to have an in-service on March 14th at Coles Elementary for specifically targeting classroom teachers. We're going to cover designing a garden, but we're also going to cover renovating an already existing garden, because many school gardens, people get really excited about it first, and then they tend to forget about them in the summer or over the years after the grant funds have run out. And so we're going to help with advice on renovating. And Master Gardeners have done a lot of site visits to encourage people to do things the right way, and to help them to make it more sustainable. That's the key, isn't it? That sustainability. And I think that's the reason you tend to lean more toward native plants, because they establish more readily. I mean, they're by the very term native, they're born here. They're meant to be here. They're not a transplant. And as long as we brought that up, I want to talk about invasive plants, because that is a really big problem. It is. Even in our own yards. You know, the common invasives that we see are Japanese honeysuckle and tree of heaven, and just not from heaven. And, you know, privet is everywhere. Barberry is on the new list, English ivy. So there's a lot of common things that even garden centers sell that are really taking over including the Bradford pear, really taking over natural areas. Drive down 66, you see all the Bradford pears on either side of the road that were never planted. So that's really pretty much like making money, isn't it? I mean, if you don't have to work hard for it, it's probably not a good idea. Yeah, yeah. So, and we can see that on Dale Boulevard. We have some beautiful trees, but they're having some problems. Yeah, because there's competition for all the invasives are taking up the nutrients in the water, and they don't have any natural predators or anything that eats them. Deer don't eat those invasives. Oh, all right. Well, I want to thank you very much. I really appreciate you coming by tonight, and I'd like to thank our viewers for watching. And if you have thoughts or ideas or things you would like to contribute to the improvement of Prince William County, or you just like to talk a lot like we do, please view our contact information at the bottom of the screen and get in touch with us. Thank you very much.